beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
Hello and welcome. You are listening to A Beautiful Legacy. I'm your host, Tiago Pinto, and this is your short moment to take a look on the people who shaped how we live, shop, work, and move. In each episode, we take 10 minutes to revisit one creator and uncover the ideas, the systems, and the choices that still define our world today. For today's story, we land in Paris in the early 1920s. A city humming with new machines, new fashions, new desires. Department stores rise like cathedrals. Crowds flow through glass doors. Merchandise gleams under electric light. And in the background, almost invisible, one woman is quietly rewriting how the world sees things. Her name was Lilly Reich, and before visual merchandising had a name, she was already creating its language. Order, proportion, contrast, line, and the choreography of looking. Reich understood something radical. Display is not decoration, it is design. Not an afterthought, but architecture in miniature. Born in Berlin in 1885, Lilly Reich grew up in a city in transformation, industry booming, craft evolving, and an early design culture taking shape. She trained in textiles, a field often dismissed at the time. But she approached it with a methodical discipline more typical of engineering. In 1912, she joined the Deutscher Werkbund, an organization central to defining early modern design. At a time when women were largely excluded from professional authorship, Reich stepped directly into the arena. Her early works already hinted at a new rulebook for display. Fabrics used as spatial dividers, repetition as structure, products arranged by visual rhythm rather than mere availability. She was designing not just nice windows, but systems of presentation. The store became a stage, and merchandise became actors moving within an architectural script. This was the birth of modern visual merchandising, though the world didn't yet have the words for it.
Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
Vitrines, one of Europe's most advanced department stores, hired Reich to shape their window displays and interior presentations. Here, she refined her method. Lilly Reich treated the store like an interior city, full of flows and micro-scenes. She looked at vitrines the way an architect looks at rooms, as environments that needed balance, logic, and hierarchy. Her approach was strikingly contemporary. Clean sightlines, controlled lighting, consistent material palettes, product groupings based on function, not on price. In a world still dominated by Victorian clutter, Reich's thinking was a quiet revolution. She replaced abundance with clarity. She replaced noise with structure, and shoppers felt the difference, even if they couldn't explain it. Lilly Reich and Miss van der Rohe collaborate on an experiential interior called the Velvet and Silk Cafe. At the first glance, it looks simple. Swaths of colored fabrics suspending from ceiling rails, forming pathways, alcoves, and pockets of light. But what Reich created was a new typology, an architecture of display. Built not from bricks, but from material logic. Fabric becomes wall, light becomes orientation, color becomes navigation, movement becomes part of the design. The cafe wasn't merely an exhibition, it was a manifesto, a declaration that the rules of the modern space could come from textiles, from fashion, from the choreography of the human body. Reich had taken visual merchandising far beyond retail. She had turned it into spatial thinking.
Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were.
History often links Lilly Reich to Miss van der Rohe, sometimes generously, sometimes reductively. Their collaboration on exhibitions and furniture is undeniable, but to focus on Miss van der Rohe alone is to misunderstand the scope of her influence. Lilly Reich was not operating in the margins. She was shaping a discipline. Her interiors for trade fairs, craft shows, and commercial galleries showed a consistency that is unmistakably hers. Logic before spectacle, proportion over decoration, clarity as a form of persuasion. These were seeds of contemporary commercial design, from flagship stores to museum shops, from pop-ups to concept stores. Reich gave display its internal order. She made presentation a professional craft. The space we inherited from Lilly Reich. Walk into an Apple store and you can feel her influence right away. The product sits in generous negative space, not crowded, not competing, just as she insisted a century ago. Glass, steel, and pale wood act as spatial organizers, not decoration, and the devices are grouped by narrative rather than mere category, echoing the logic she introduced at Wertheim. Clarity as persuasion, order as experience. Step inside costs, and her handwriting becomes even clearer. Clothing is arranged by rhythm, not density. Color is treated as a spatial cue, not marketing. Materials, concrete, timber, fabric, form a calm, coherent background that allows the garment to speak. This is Lilly Reich influence that the display must shape its own environment, not merely sit within it. Look at MUJI, and you will see her philosophical rigor. Function defines grouping, repetition builds trust, and calm is engineered through strict control of line and proportion. It is a global expression of her belief that presentation should feel logical before it feels decorative. Move through fashion houses like Hermès or Loewe, and you find vitrines curated like miniature rooms, crafted with the same discipline Lilly Reich applied to her Werkbund exhibitions. Parallels are also seen on a visit to MoMA, the Design Museum in London, or Vitra House. The sequencing of objects, the precise framing, the use of curtains and textiles as architectural tools all echo her velvet and silk cafe. Proof that material, light, and proportion can define space. And in Europe's great department stores, KaDeWe, Oberpollinger, Staffel, the logic of her Wertheim years lives on. Vitrines as architecture, circulation as storytelling, materials as the grammar of each floor. Lilly Reich didn't leave behind monumental buildings or iconic silhouettes. She made the act of showing into a design discipline. Her legacy lives in the way we look, the way we move, the way we experience objects in space. Lilly Reich taught the world that presentation is a form of architecture and that even the smaller display can shape behavior, emotion, and culture. And that, truly, is a beautiful legacy.
Beautiful legacy.
You've been listening to A Beautiful Legacy, a short moment of clarity in a world built by remarkable minds. If it inspired you, follow the show and join me again on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Until then, keep noticing the beauty people leave behind.
Beautiful legacy. Every line, every curve leaves a trace of who we were. In the shape of a chair in